Welcome back to Checkpoint. Now, independent reports suggest that cases of sexual abuse among children are on the rise in Kakamega County, despite the constitutional protection under Article 53, which expressly recognizes the right of all children to be protected from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, all forms of violence, inhumane treatment, as well as hazardous or exploitative labor. And as Purity Museonzuki now reports, the victims continue to struggle with the trauma of the attacks, and the quest to find justice remains a mirage. Here's our report.
For long, sexual abuse and exploitation of children has happened in secrecy following the shame and stigma that communities attach to it, allowing the crimes to continue. Kakamega County, home to close to 2 million residents per the 2019 census. This county is one of those despite the existence of legal protection under the Sexual Offences Act. The rise in reported child sexual abuse cases undermines the very reason why the law exists. The scar on Emily's face is a consequence of a decision she made out of frustrations.
Na baba alikuwa mtu wa kufanya kazi nje huko. Na vile tuliishi na huyo mama.
Our dad was working in a different town.
Unaweza enda shule.
My siblings and I went through hell under the care of our stepmother. I was the firstborn. We were in primary school. We would get home from school and find no food.
Kina mama ni Uganda. Na sisi hatujui huko.
My biological mother is Ugandan. She went back to her people after separating with my dad. Our stepmother threatened to kill us if we reported what she was doing to us to our dad. We kept everything to ourselves. After all, our dad was coming home few times a year. She beat us for no reason. Sometimes she sent us to fetch water and cook. Studying was a challenge. There was no time. Emily, who was the firstborn in her family, decided to get married and run away from home, far from her stepmother.
Na kuoana nikadhani nimetoka kwa shida na kumbe tena nilikuwa nakuja kwa shida kubwa kuliko ile.
I thought getting married was the solution. Little did I know that I was getting myself to even a bigger problem. He used to beat me until we had our first child. My in-laws encouraged me to persevere, assuring me that he would change, but that did not happen. I finally left his house with my 2 children, disabled. One day, he came home, bit my nose, and that is why my face looks like this. I was not born like this. This accident changed my life completely. I am appealing for help to go for corrective surgery.
Her abuser is yet to be arrested.
I reported the matter to the police, but he had run away when he was informed I had taken the matter before the authorities. As we speak, he is yet to be arrested. No justice for me yet.
It has been 3 years, and Asha's father says he cannot forget what his daughter went through in the hands of 3 men. He remembers the night her daughter's innocence was taken away.
My daughter was with her boyfriend when one young man, disguised as a patrol police officer, approached them and took the girl with him. Shortly, 2 other men joined him.
They took me to the house that appeared deserted and started doing it in turns. They put bang and other drugs on my mouth and repeatedly did the act. It was painful.
It is rare for women from conservative societies like Matete to speak openly about rape. Shame is one reason. Fear of being shunned by their own families is another. The reason Asha's father has been knocking on doors in her daughter's store in pursuit of justice. However, time is running out. The key witness in her daughter's case is already dead.
Na ikawa tapata mbaya yule mama aliyeokoa mtoto alikuwa mgonjwa wakati huo alikuwa anamuokoa.
Unfortunately, the woman who was our hope is dead. My daughter's boyfriend has also disappeared. We might not have watertight evidence.
Ushahidi wakaniuliza kama pia mimi nikatoa ushahidi kwa sababu pia mimi nilikuwa witness kwa hiyo kesi.
Joyce is just as angry, and part of her frustration is how people reacted after she was raped by a man old enough to be her father. She kept it a secret, but not for too long. She got pregnant from the act.
Asa baba akauliza Made, ati bwana mtoto ako hivi, ni kama mtoto ako na mimba.
My father was the first to notice that I was pregnant. I then told them what had happened to me. This time, it was too late to report, but we did it anyway. After he denied the charges, the judge advised us we wait until I gave birth. After DNA, the baby was his. He's now in custody.
Sometimes they feel what they saw, what was done to them, it's normal. So when they get hold, they feel maybe abuse is part of life, and they try to. That's why you meet them in police cells, you meet them in crime scenes because they need to go through the therapy sessions.
According to activists, Kangaroo courts are to blame for the soaring number of teenage child abuse in Kakamega County.
Nikipata familia ambayo hawataki kesi iende mbele.
As a child protection volunteer, I help the children whose families are not willing to proceed with the case once they are abused.
Na report kwa mkubwa ambaye ni sub-county children's officer.
Ukijaribu kuingilia sana hata ubeleke ripoti.
Some of these cases, as an elder, are beyond us. Police take bribes and the cases do not proceed.
Kwa changa kila tarehe 15 tarehe 30. Hapo mbele tulikuwa na discipline.
Nowadays, there is lack of discipline. Today you cannot correct a child unlike before, when a child belonged to the community.
Mtu mwingine mpate kama anakosa anamdiscipline.
The county government has declared war on men allegedly preying on teenage girls. Police, in conjunction with the World Vision Kenya, are leading the campaign.
After engaging with the community, we have realized a lot of issues of child defilement, issues of child labor, especially children working in the sugar industry and not going to school. We have also looked at issues of where we have what we call kangaroo courts, where issues of children are settled at community level, but the children don't get justice.
The community talks of getting embarrassed when these cases are brought to the police, when they are brought to the public limelight. They want to settle those matters in those kangaroo courts. And that is why we are coming in as the police to sensitize the public that that is very wrong, because they are denying that child justice.
The protection of children from all forms of violence is a fundamental right enshrined in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child and the Kenyan Constitution. According to the 2019 Violence Against Children survey, 1 in every 2 people experienced abuse in childhood. The prevalence of childhood violence remains high, affecting nearly half of females and more than half of males. Violence, abuse, and exploitation of children have a profound effect on the lives of children, such as low self-esteem and dissociative states.
If they're not supported, they develop a long-term mental effects, which affects them even when they grow up. That's why we meet these kids. Most of them, they become violent. They try to resist because of what they went through when they are kids.
Cases of sexual abuse are on the rise in Matete in Kakamega County, with some said to be victims of their own parents and relatives.
Collaboration between the community and the police, not only for child protection, but for any other cases, is very important. Because the community members are the ones, most cases, know the offenders. And sometimes also they are the ones who protect the offenders. But if they are part and parcel of the policing of any case, they become solving that problem very easily.
When we arrive in Chenjeni, Kakamega County, a sensitization campaign is underway. On one side, women who are accused of keeping secrets just to keep their families together whenever their husbands or close relatives engage in incest are being equipped with knowledge on why it is important to report any child-related abuse.
Women of the area, they are really contributing to this kind of a problem. One, they tend to back up their husbands. They tend to love their husbands more than their children. So like for my case, which I'm handling currently, I took the steps required. We went up to the DO's office, proceeded to the police station, but when the mother was called, my God, what I heard never pleased my ears at all. The woman was supporting the husband, saying that the husband cannot do that to the child. And here the child has said it happened while the mother was not there. So women of this area really support or really love their husbands more than their children.
Men are also receiving life lessons on the need to take care of their families and treat their stepchildren as their own. The emphasis is on the need for a collaboration between the police and communities.
These are my private parts, private parts, private parts.
The children receive lessons regarding their rights as enshrined in the Kenyan Constitution.
Nobody should see that.
I have to appreciate that our law courts are doing a commendable work. For a case to succeed, it depends on the availability of evidence, what you are going to present before the court of law. So it depends also that person investigating. How much did you marshal your evidence? How much did you do what the law requires for you to do?
Defilement, rape, and incest, like all other sexual offenses, there's a lot of stigma, a lot of shame that makes, and also in addition, these are children. They should have a voice to speak for them. They cannot amplify their voice unless you hold their hand.
As the campaigns on child protection continue, these women and girls want more victims to break their silence and come forward so that child defilement cases can be documented. And while they wait for justice, they hope for some compassion from an unforgiving and judgmental society. Purity Muselzuki, KTN News, Kakamega County.